You know, we've all had that one teacher we'll never forget, right? The one who just made learning feel different, better. But what if the secret to that amazing connection wasn't just about what the teacher did? What if, and stick with me here, what if the student actually played an even bigger role? Well, let's dive into the fascinating science behind that very idea.
I mean, think back to your own school days. What was it that made some relationships with teachers so great, so memorable, while others were, well, let's just say, not so great? It's a question that really matters because it shapes a student's entire experience.
The common wisdom, the story we all tell ourselves, is that a great teacher can connect with any student, that it's their job, their responsibility, to build that bridge. But a fascinating new scientific review is about to turn that whole idea completely on its head. Let's see what the data really has to say.
Okay, so first things first, why do we even care so much about this bond? Because the research is absolutely crystal clear. A strong student-teacher relationship isn't just some nice, fluffy thing. It is a fundamental cornerstone of a student's success, both inside the classroom and out.
A strong, positive connection with a teacher is linked to so many incredible things. We're talking better grades, sure, but also higher engagement in class, better social skills with peers, and this real, genuine sense of belonging at school. And these aren't just small effects. We see these benefits across every single age group, from the little ones in preschool all the way through high school.
So this brings us right back to the million-dollar question. Who is really in the driver's seat of this incredibly important relationship? Is it the teacher, like we all assume, or is there another, maybe even more powerful, factor at play here? All right, let's start with the usual suspect, the teacher. It makes sense, right? We're going to look at how a teacher's own personality traits, how warm they are, how organized they are, actually shape the quality of their relationships with students. And the evidence we're about to look at is incredibly solid. This isn't just one little study. Oh no, this is a massive meta-analysis that pulls together the results from 55 different studies. So what we're getting here is a really clear, really reliable look at the big picture.
And the data shows that, yeah, a teacher's personality does matter. Of course it does. Teachers who are more agreeable, more conscientious, they do tend to have better relationships. But take a look at the numbers here. The correlations are positive, sure, but as the researchers themselves put it, they're modest.
So the teacher's personality is definitely a piece of the puzzle, but it's clearly not the biggest piece. It just doesn't fully explain why some relationships really click and others just don't. Something else is going on.
And this, right here, is where the story takes a really surprising turn. The research points to another person in that classroom who seems to play an even bigger, starring role, and that's the student.
Get this. A student's pro-social behavior, we're talking simple stuff like being helpful, being kind, cooperative, that has a correlation of 0.59 with a positive teacher relationship. That is nearly double the impact of the teacher's own agreeableness. It's a huge difference.
The conclusion from this massive analysis is just unmistakable. When it comes down to predicting the quality of that student-teacher bond, the student's own personality and their behavior are, by far, the most powerful factors.
Okay, so let's break that down a bit. Which specific student traits are we talking about here? Which ones are the relationship builders, and which ones are the ones most likely to create friction and conflict?
So one of the key traits that popped out is something called a proactive personality. Now, this isn't just about being outgoing or chatty. It's about a student who takes initiative, who tries to solve problems, who actively works to make things better. And, it's not surprising that teachers find it a lot easier to connect with students like that.
So you've really got a tale of two different paths. On one side, you have these relationship builders, students who are pro-social, proactive, agreeable, and conscientious. And on the other side, the traits that really predict conflict are aggression and, to a lesser degree, what's called neuroticism, being emotionally unstable or anxious.
And just like pro-social behavior was the #1 predictor of positive bonds, student aggression is the single most powerful predictor of a negative, conflict-filled relationship. The correlation here is even stronger, a whopping 0.62. This summary table just makes the whole story crystal clear. Just look at the difference in the numbers. The impact of a student's pro-social behavior or their aggression is just dramatically stronger than the impact of a teacher's agreeableness or neuroticism. It's not even close. The student's traits are truly in the driver's seat.
So what do we do with all this? What are the real-world implications of this?
Well, this research offers a pretty profound shift in how we might view the dynamics of every single classroom.
So let's just boil it down to the key takeaways. First, the student's personality has a bigger impact on the relationship than the teacher's. That's a huge deal. Second, a student's kind, helpful behavior is the #1 predictor of a positive bond, while their aggressive behavior is the #1 predictor of a negative one. And what this all means is that we really need to shift our focus from putting all the pressure on the teacher to also understanding and supporting the student's role in building that relationship.
And hey, don't just take my word for it. As the study's authors themselves put it, their findings highlight the critical role of student personality in shaping how these interactions go down in the classroom.
This leaves us with a really powerful final question to think about. If students are the ones who hold the keys to these vital relationships, what does that mean for how we approach education, how we support their social and emotional learning? It really suggests that helping students develop these positive traits might just be one of the most important things we can possibly do to create better classrooms for absolutely everyone.